Hey crafters, it's Artsy Craftsy Phoebe and welcome to card number 3 of my holiday card series. On today's card, I'm going to show you how I foiled my card using my embossing paste and my laminator. So let's get started. I'm going to use this Christmas Happiness stamp set and I'm using these stamps and they're already mounted on my blocks. And as I mentioned, I'm going to use my embossing paste. And for my inks, I'm going to be using my early espresso, garden green, and old olive stamp pads, along with my VersaFine Onyx Black ink and my Versamark ink pad, and my gold embossing powder. And for my paper, I'm going to be using this transfer sheet. It's the Deco Foil transfer sheet in rose gold, and it comes in this pack right here. Piece of early espresso cardstock cut at 4 by 5 1/4, and my card base in A2 size, and this is in mossy meadow. And I cut my foil paper just slightly bigger than the early espresso cardstock. I'm also going to use this stitched circle in Very Vanilla, and I used the biggest circle in this stitched framelit set right there, and then just a slightly bigger circle in Mossy Meadow. And I'm going to use this decorative mask as well, and also this washi tape that came from the Year of Cheer washi tape set. Alright, so while my laminator is warming up, I'm going to start with my mask and my embossing paste. So I'm just lining up my mask and I will tape that into place. And then I'll carefully put some embossing paste onto my mask on a diagonal. And then I'll carefully remove the mask from my cardstock, and then I'll let this air dry for a few minutes before I foil it. So while waiting for that to dry, I'm going to start with my stamping. So I'm grabbing my Very Vanilla and using these solid pine cones, I'm going to stamp those with my early espresso ink pad. I'm stamping it off once though before stamping it onto my cardstock to get a lighter color. And then I'll cover them with these masks that I made from Post-it notes before stamping the leaves. So I'm starting with my old olive ink pad, and I'm using this stamp right here. And I'll stamp that twice onto my cardstock. And then I'll do the same using my garden green ink pad. After removing my masks, I can now stamp my pinecone details using my VersaFine Onyx Black ink pad. And then I'll dry this with my heat gun before heat embossing my sentiment. And don't forget to prep your surface with your anti-static powder tool before doing this part. And then just heat this up with your heat gun and we're almost done. Alright, so by now my embossing paste should be dry enough. So let's do some foiling. So with my laminator, I've discovered that it works best without a carrier sheet. So I'm just lining my foil with my cardstock and running it through my laminator. Now there are different laminators and different heat settings, so I encourage you to play with your laminator to find out which setting works best for you. This particular laminator is a cheap one from Amazon and it's on a 5mm setting right now. Alright, are you guys ready for the magic? Here we go! Now, isn't that just gorgeous? It's so shimmery and beautiful, I just love it! Now, just in case you missed that part, let's do it again. Now, don't chuck these pieces away because we can certainly use these for another card. Okay, so now I'm just making marks on the corner of my card for where my washi tape will go. And then I'll just secure the backs with some tape. And then I'll just stick this whole piece onto my card base. Now, I know mossy meadow is a retired color, but I just wanted to use a deeper shade of green. So if you don't have this color, you can use Always Artichoke instead. So then I'm just layering my circles together. And then I'll put some foam tape at the back to add dimension. And then I'm just sticking this whole piece smack dab in the middle. And that is my card for today. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, crafters, and I hope you all have a lovely day. See you next time. Bye!